In a bold legal maneuver, Mahmoud Khalil, Palestinian-American activist and Columbia University graduate, has filed a $20 million claim against the Trump administration. He alleges he was wrongfully detained, defamed, and targeted in violation of his civil rights. This case, filed under the Federal Tort Claims Act or the FTCA, marks a rare attempt to hold multiple federal agencies, Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and the US State Department, financially accountable for an incident many are calling politically motivated. The filing not only seeks compensation but also highlights broader questions about immigration policy, campus activism, and government overreach in the post-Trump era. Khalil was arrested in March 2025, shortly after leading demonstrations supporting Palestinian rights on campus and nationwide. While no criminal charges were ever brought against him, ICE forcibly detained him at the Alexandria ICE Processing Center in rural Louisiana, where he remained for 104 days.
What they did to me is they tried something, it failed, but still the harm is already there. So unless they feel that there is some sort of accountability for that, they would continue to go unchecked. What I'm asking for, it's either this sum of money or an apology, an official apology from the administration for the wrongdoings that they did against me and against others as well.
Khalil alleges he was held without a judicial warrant, suggesting potential due process violations. The conditions in the detention center were harsh and punitive, including denial of ulcer medication, poor nutrition, constant fluorescent lighting, which contributed to mental and physical distress. That included a 30-pound weight loss during incarceration. Also, that he was effectively removed from access to legal support and advocacy, being held far from New York, where his case had legal and public visibility. A federal judge ultimately ruled his detention likely unconstitutional, allowing him to remain in the US as the deportation effort was blocked. The Federal Tort Claims Act of 1946 provides citizens and permanent residents the rare opportunity to sue the US government for damages caused by its employees. FTCA claims must be filed within 2 years of the incident, be directed at the relevant federal agency, and the complainant must wait for up to 6 months for the agency to accept or deny responsibility before moving to court. In 2022, victims' families from the Sutherland Springs mass shooting received a $144 million FTCA judgment due to a military database failure. Wrongful detention cases, though rare, have succeeded under FTCA when clear misconduct is shown. Khalil's filing signals confidence that the government's actions were unlawful, a legal standard higher than mere negligence. The Department of Homeland Security has denied wrongdoing. A spokesperson dismissed Khalil's claim as absurd, asserting that his detention was justified based on his, quote, hateful behavior and rhetoric and supposed threat to US-Israel relations. This stance implies that national security considerations, not public safety, motivated Khalil's detention, a point that could backfire in court if perceived as punishing political speech. Yet, DHS never filed criminal charges or provided concrete evidence of wrongdoing. Critics say this exposes a dangerous precedent where political beliefs, especially around Palestinian rights, are grounds for immigration detentions. Khalil contends that his detention was retaliation for his activism. He was prominent in organizing protests, teach-ins and statements condemning US and Israeli actions in Gaza during a turbulent campus climate between 2024 and 2025. He emphasizes he opposes anti-Semitism and has worked to keep protests peaceful. His political speech was protected under the First Amendment, and he never violated any terms of his student visa nor engaged in violence. He thereby seeks a public apology, compensation for the trauma and the time lost, policy reforms to protect activists from ICE targeting. He's also pledged to donate part of any settlement to a legal fund for pro-Palestinian activists, turning personal justice into a broader movement. Khalil's legal action has attracted support from progressive political figures. While no one has formally endorsed the lawsuit, figures like New York Assembly member Zoran Mamdani, now running for mayor, and members of the Democratic Socialists of America have previously demanded his release.
How many more New Yorkers will not die? Do you believe in the First Amendment? Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan? How many more New Yorkers?
This reflects a broader partisan split: civil liberties defenders versus national security advocates. Rising student activism on Gaza has drawn scrutiny and crackdowns. Civil rights groups see a pattern of disproportionate ICE action against Middle Eastern and Muslim students. Legal experts warn that the line between free speech and national security threat is being dangerously blurred. If the case succeeds, it may embolden other activists and spur greater oversight of ICE and DHS actions post-Trump. The case goes beyond Mahmoud Khalil. At its core lies a constitutional dilemma. Can the US government detain a legal resident for political speech it deems controversial? At stake is the balance between free speech and immigration enforcement. The FTCA route has precedent for holding agencies responsible, but in high-stakes political contexts, outcomes vary. Khalil's case may steer future boundaries for lawful dissent and civil liberties. Khalil's FTCA claim is a prelude to federal litigation. Agencies have roughly 6 months to address it before a lawsuit can proceed. While no verdict is imminent, the case's trajectory will be closely watched. It may define legal protections for political speech, shape immigration enforcement, and set a precedent for accountability within federal agencies. This story highlights how procedural enforcement can collide with constitutional rights. Whatever the resolution, Mahmoud Khalil's challenge will likely influence future policy and the legal landscape surrounding activism in the United States. Whether or not he wins the $20 million, Khalil has made his case a national flashpoint, one that may change how protests, policy, and immigration intersect in the years ahead.